Welcome to this month's Trader Connect webinar. This is a little trading technical analysis webinar we do once a month. We skipped last month for some reasons, but we're back this month. And yeah, the idea of this webinar is just for you guys to say, oh, let's have a look at this stock, let's have a look at that stock, and then hopefully I can give you my technical analysis ideas. You can say, oh, well, this is what I think. Oh, if you want to buy, this is a good opportunity to buy, or no, maybe wait a bit, buy a year, or this is a good short opportunity. But yeah, this is all about you. It's all about us to talk about some trade ideas and see what we can find. But let's just do the usual spiel here. Yeah, so this needs to be updated, but Rand Swiss was rated South Africa's top stockbroker in 2019. We won this award again in 2021. So we are once again South Africa's top stockbroker. We also won the top advice broker in 2019. We got the People's Choice Award again this year, 2019 and 2021. So we're once again got the People's Choice Award. And then last year, we also got the award for as a top online broker. And then last year and this year, we got the award for best tax-free savings account in South Africa. But yeah, we're very happy that this year we were rated South Africa's top broker again this year and the People's Choice Award. We're very proud of those awards. Okay, so what do? Well, we do a little bit of everything. I mean, it's kind of more a question of what would you like to do, because I'm pretty sure we can help you. But there on the left-hand side, you can see some of our services. So naturally, we have online trading. So if you want to trade CFDs or futures or options, we can give you the platform and you can go ahead and do that. Or even if you just want to do long-term investing, we can give you a good cost-effective platform where you can just go on, you can buy your shares, and you can just hold them as long as you want. But naturally, with online trading, it's very hands-off from us. We just give you the platform. Or if you have any technical issues, we help you with that. But naturally, we don't give you any advice or any of those things. If you have a short-term trading account, we do send our technical ideas to you free of charge. But at the end of the day, you are managing this account on your own. Then private broking. This is very similar to online trading, but this is more where you would like us to advise you a little bit. So you would like us to recommend you some stocks, or maybe you have a few stocks you're looking at yourself. You say, guys, what do you think of this stock? Do you have any research on the stock? Or maybe you already have the stock in your account and you are considering selling it. You can then ask us, well, guys, what do you think? Do you think I should hold on to the stock? Do you think I should sell a bit of it? What do you think? Then manage portfolios. That's a bit more of a discretionary thing where you just give us the money and say, guys, you know, I don't have the time to manage this. You just manage it as you see fit. And then we will either put you into one of our model portfolios. We have a very good global equity fund, which we've been running for close to 6 years now, and it's beaten the market every single year. We've more recently started the South African portfolio and the UK portfolio. But we started it this year, so they don't quite have the same track record as the global equity portfolio, but we use the same methodology and they've been performing very well as well. Like for instance, our South African portfolio has been outperforming the JSE top 40 for the past 6 months now since inception. Why? Because we use the same methodologies. We looked at Naspers, we went severely underweight Naspers, and naturally, as many of you know, Naspers has not been performing so well this year. So because we were underweight Naspers, we've been outperforming. Structured products. So this is for people who are a bit more defensive. You still want exposure to the market, but you want some capital protection or you want some more security. That's structured products. So we recently did one on the ASX, basically where it's going to give you, as long as the ASX 200, I believe that's, yeah, the ASX, is positive after 3.5 years, it will give you 60% return. While on the same side, it gave you 30% downside protection. So if the index falls by between 0 and 30%, you would just get 100% of your capital back. So it gives you that security. So it's only if the market falls by more than 30%, then you will do whatever the market did. But if the market fell 20%, you lose nothing. You basically just lose out to inflation over 3.5 years. So it's a very defensive product. It still gives you exposure to the market, but it tells you exactly, oh, if the market's positive by even just 0.1%, you will get 60% growth. If it's negative, we will protect you up to 30%. Then offshore transfers. If you want to send some money out of the country, it can help you with that. If you have not used your 1 million rand discretionary allowance for this year yet, I would recommend you do so soon, because there's only about 2 months left to do it. So I would definitely say, if you're looking to send money out of the country, do so soon. We can do so. We can help you. We do it for you via Investec. The funds go into a bank account that we create for you at Investec, and from there we can convert to dollars, euros, pounds, Australian dollars, Swiss franc, whatever you want. And we do it for you at a much more cost-effective rate if you were to go to one of the bigger banks. Wealth management, that's more retirement planning, RAs, living annuities, life insurance, those kind of things. We can definitely help you with that. Or what these guys do as well is they sit down with you and they take a more holistic view of your investments. So they say, oh, maybe you're overexposed to America. Maybe we should shift a little bit to Europe. Or maybe for your age and risk profile, you're overexposed to equities. Maybe we should move a little bit of it to bonds. So that's what the wealth managers also do. Tax-free savings accounts, I'm sure you know, every year 36,000 Rand, you can put into a tax-free savings account. You can invest in ETFs, and any growth you get on that account is tax-free. So you can imagine if you put it 36,000 Rand a year into the account and you leave it 20, 25, 30 years, that's a lot of growth you can get from those investments. And then one day when you sell, no capital gains tax. So you get to keep all of those gains completely, utterly tax-free. Okay. Sorry, I'll check something here. Okay. Yeah, and then just our network partners. So if you open a local short-term trading account, you'll probably get the Velocity Trade account, Velocity Trade. Very good little platform, lots of CFDs, local CFDs and offshore CFDs, commodities, Forex, all those kind of things. If you're looking to do more long-term investing, we will probably open an account for you with Saxo or Momentum. Locally, Saxo, of course, they're known as DMA. Offshore, if you open an offshore account, whether it's long-term trading or short-term trading, we'll go with Swissquote. This is a Swiss bank. You can actually get a bank card with Swissquote, or again, we can go with Saxo. Then the media partners, you would have seen Gary, Viv, Yaku. They're frequently on Business Day TV. They're on CNBC Africa. You can see them on ETV, on SABC, or on the radio 702. So we're kind of all over the place giving market commentary. But okay. Okay, now, first of all, the little disclaimer. By no means, when I'm looking at these things and I'm saying, oh, this looks like it could be a possible buy, or this might be a sell, I'm not giving a recommendation. I'm just giving you my opinion. So by no means am I telling you, oh, you should definitely go out and buy this, or you should definitely go out and short this. This is only an idea. It's my opinion. Do your own analysis, listen to other people, put all these opinions together, and then trade using your own discretion. Okay, so these are not recommendations. These are just my views, my opinions based on my recommendations. Okay, let's analyze your trades. By the way, if you have anything you want to look at specifically, just put it in the chat, and then I'll try to get to all of them. But I'll start with oh yeah, we're going to look at both platforms. Like I spoke to you about Velocity Trader and DMA. So we will look at both platforms. While we look at the local stuff, I'm just going to use Velocity Trader. When we look at some offshore stocks, I will switch to DMA. But okay, Let's start with one I think everyone tends to look at, the USDZAR. So at the moment, it's kind of blowing out. I mean, load shedding, I don't know how many of you are aware of it, but we just actually at 12 o'clock, we went to stage 4 load shedding. So naturally, that's not good for the rand. Whenever there's news of load shedding, the rand tends to weaken a little bit because that's not good for any economy when the country cannot provide the required electricity. We just went to stage 4, and now we're back at 15 rand to the dollar. Now, that is a lot to do with load shedding. Naturally, it's also the dollar has been strengthening over the past 2 days because people are kind of expecting rate hikes to come in America. And when interest rates go up in America, or any currency, that currency tends to strengthen. So with expectations of rate hikes in America, the dollar has been a little strong lately. So that's one of the reasons why we've been seeing the rand weaken a bit. But load shedding definitely has not been helping. Okay, so first things, let's see here. So we can see if we look at the rand since about, when is this, June. This seems to be the range that the rand is trading in. Okay, well, at the bottom, I'm going to delete this one actually. So at the bottom, 14 rand 10. That is the low, but most often I would say 14.30. So yeah, this would be for me the area. If you're looking to take money out of the country, right here, between 14.30 and 14.50. That seems to be the bottom. Where it's like occasionally, yes, it will come down here, but that's not the norm. This seems to be the area where the rand bottoms out, the USDZAR bottoms out. So if you're ever looking to take money out of the country, as soon as spot drops below 14.50, I would say that would be a good time to take money out of the country. And then at the top, we've got 15.20. Well, rather, let's use this. So 15.20 to 15.30. That seems to be the top range. That's where you'll find resistance. So that's kind of the area where we see the rand trading since June. Bottom off, yeah, I mean 14.10. I think really that's like just like when the rand went down to 13.50. That was kind of like a once off. It's not going to happen much. I would say the same year going below 14. Sorry, I meant 14.30. Let's go there. 14.30. I don't really see the rand doing that very easily again. This seems to be the bottom at the moment. And then, yeah, at the top, 15.20 to 15.30. So what kind of trade would you do at the moment here? Well, I mean, for me at the moment, it's kind of a wait and see. If you think, I mean, stage 4 load shedding, pretty dire. We haven't had stage 4 in quite a while. So my expectation would be for the rand to continue to weaken rather than strengthen back. I would see the rand going back up to at least 15.10, maybe 15.20. But again, that's just my opinion. But yeah, I mean, stage 4, that's very dire. If I had to take a guess right now and say, well, okay, wait, is the rand strengthening from here or weakening? I would say probably weaken. I say we'll probably hit resistance before we hit support. Any questions on USDZAR? By all means, just put it in the chat or Q&A. But yeah, things are not looking very good for the rand at the moment. And naturally, if things don't look good for the rand, then South African financial stocks, the banks especially, tend to suffer as well. Because you will see a lot of time there's a big correlation between the performance of the rand and South African financial companies like the banks. So if you see the rand weaken, you will see at the same time bank stocks come down. But not just bank stocks, even insurance stocks like Sanlam, Discovery, those companies, they tend to weaken a little bit as well. But yeah, so you can actually look, we just had a look at first rands We can have a look at some other ones as well. But let's see what's happening. So let's look, for instance, Absa, AVG. As you can see, the rand's been weakening. What do we see? Same thing happening on Absa. As the rand's been weakening, so has Absa as a financial stock. Again, because there's a big correlation between the two. But what we can see here, though, is a bit of a pattern. This is called a descending triangle. Put this horizontal line here. So this is actually known as a bit of a, usually people will tell you this is a trend reversal pattern. It will narrow out, bounce, 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 and then eventually it will break through. And then that's the reversal. But in my opinion, it's not that easy. It can be either a trend continuation or a trend reversal. It just depends which one breaks first. Does the resistance break or does the support break? That's kind of your signal on these kind of patterns. Keep an eye on which one breaks. So if you see a good proper close above resistance or a good proper close below support, then that's kind of your signal. Oh, maybe I should go short. Maybe I should go long. So keep an eye on this. Let's see what else is happening here. So let's put the Magdy. So what are we currently seeing on the Magdy? So for those who don't know the Magdy is a trend signal. It tells you what the trend is. So if this line is going down, it's telling you, oh, there's a bearish trend. Likewise, this is the zero line. If it's above it, that's bullish. If it's below zero, it is bearish. So what I do see here, though, is, no, there's no divergence here. So it is trending down, it's bearish. It is below zero, that's bearish. So that's kind of one signal already. Now you just have to kind of wait and see, okay, what's going to happen here? If it breaks below, and I won't say just a little bit below support, I will probably say a good close below. So maybe, so it's 140, so maybe a close below 139. That could be like a good affirmation. Okay, maybe go short. Because that seems what is most likely going to happen if the rand, if my opinion of the rand, that the rand is rather going to weaken than strengthen, then we will rather see Absa weaken as well. We do have the bearish trend there, no divergence. If you don't know what the divergence is, we'll see one soon enough, I'm sure. But basically, usually what the divergence is if they're at the same level, or maybe even if this is lower than this, but yet on the Magdy, it was going up, that would be known as a bullish divergence. And that's usually a signal that maybe you should think about going long. But at the moment, there's no divergence. So that is bearish at the moment. So yeah, this Absa could definitely be one that you can keep your eye on. It looks like it could be a possible short opportunity. Just keep an eye on this support line here. Does it break it? And does it break it properly? Okay, we can have another look. Let's have a look at another financial stock like Nedbank. Okay, Nedbank is kind of acting a little bit differently. So that's definitely not been weakening with the rand. So that's interesting. But what do we see there? So there is clearly like an area of support and resistance. Support, broke through it. Resistance. Found support, broke through it. Now it's kind of acting like resistance again. And if this resistance holds, because this was a breakout, but this was clearly a false breakout. So the breakout didn't hold. That could be kind of bearish if you really consider it, because if the rand weakens, that's kind of a good signal. Oh, it hit resistance, it's not holding. Now we can possibly see the rand weakening, We can easily see net bank dropping back down to support right here, 165. So that's a good solid. I mean, if you're going in the price right now, 174, that could be a good 9 Rand drop right there. Yeah, so you see it trending up, but that's not a divergence because as you can see, the price also trended up. So I'm definitely not considering this a divergence. It did just kind of break above 0 line, so it's kind of bullish. It is trending up. So again, that is kind of bullish, but it hit resistance. It broke through and it didn't manage to stay above resistance. It dropped straight back down. So that is a good bearish signal. We can already see the blue line if we zoom in a little bit. There we go. We can already see the blue line starting to trend back down again as well. So that's also a little bit bearish. It's already starting to trend back down. So this could be a nice little short trade if you're looking to go short with a nice 9 Rand move right there. Okay. Any questions so far about the Rand, dollar, financial stocks? If not, let's move to Brent. We're all affected by Brent and oil, the price of oil. So naturally, oil has been ongoing quite a tear. It's been on a very strong bullish run. Now, one of the biggest reasons for that is that the price of coal has also gone up a lot. So a lot of energy producers in China, especially, but also in Europe, have turned to diesel to run their power plants. And that has naturally, of course, driven up the price of oil. Then, of course, there's also energy shortages. Both, I don't know if you guys have been following it, but in the UK, natural gas prices have been going up. So again, what do the energy producers do? They used oil, but yeah, China is struggling to generate enough electricity for themselves. So that's in turn created a high demand for Brent, along with the higher oil coal prices. So that has driven up the price of oil. So yeah, and then OPEC also, I think it was last week, they came out and said, like, yeah, they're going to up production, but they're only going to up production by a little bit. So by not as much as the market needed. And you all know economics 101. If the demand is higher than supply, well, guess what? Prices go up. And OPEC said, no, we're not going to up our production by enough to meet supply. We're only going to up it by a little bit. This has created more shortages, and naturally, prices have gone up. Okay, but there we are seeing a slight little divergence. So let me see if there's an arrow. So you can see there it's starting to trend down a little bit. But over the same period, so from there, it's still trending up quite a bit. Well, not quite a bit, but a little bit. It's still trending upwards. So that is what you call a divergence. This is a bearish divergence. Now, naturally, if you've been to this webinar before, you would know I've said this many, many times. These divergences are not 100% correct all the time. They're just one of many signals you take into account. They can be good a lot of the time. Like for instance here, this was another nice divergence. So let's start from there. Oil continued to go up. But then here it was starting to run flat. So as oil was continuing to go up, the Magdy did not. The Magdy was starting to go down. So that was a signal like, oh, maybe I should start going short. And look what happened. Oil did, in fact, drop by quite a bit. So these bearish or well, bullish or bearish divergences, they can be good signals, don't get me wrong, but don't think just because you see a divergence that it will for a fact happen, that you will for a fact, if you see a bearish divergence, you will for a fact see prices fall or go up or whatever. So they're good signals, but they're not always correct. So looking at oil, this is a possible signal like, oh, oil, there's a bit of a divergence starting to form here. Possibly oil prices can come down. I should start looking for other signals as to maybe taking a short position on oil. So let's see if we can see another one. If we put another indicator on here. So another one I like is the slow stochastic. As you can see, so slow stochastic, the big thing about this is the overbought territory above the red line and the oversold territory below the blue line. So as you can see, oil has been trading quite a bit above the overbought territory. And the overbought territory basically means, oh, it's getting overpriced. It's getting too expensive. So that is usually another possible signal like, oh, maybe I should go short. So there's another bearish signal on oil. So that's two bearish signals. Let's see, long term. Long term, definitely there is resistance. Around about between $86, $87 a barrel. It peaked there before, it can possibly peak there again. So that's another bearish signal. So there's three bearish signals. Again, I'm by no means recommending you go short. Just by this quick little analysis, we can see that there's some good bearish signals on Brent at the moment, and this can be another commodity or instrument to keep an eye on and maybe go short. Okay, any questions about Brent? Naturally, if we're looking at Brent, then we should look at a stock that is very correlated to the price of oil. Sasol. Okay, so Sasol's already been weakening. So that's interesting. So even as oil has been continuing to go up, Sasol started to go down. Now, it might just also be because Sasol is a South African stock. It's affected by load shedding. So people might be a bit negative just on South Africa in general, and Sasol is just paying the price for it. But that's very interesting. What can we see? It's getting very close to support though. So there's support for Sasol at about 250 Rand a share. So if you can be patient, maybe you can say, well, okay, I'm going to wait. But if Sasol drops below 260, maybe 255, you can sort of, maybe it's a good spot to go long on Sasol. But I mean, it's kind of dependent on the price of oil, because if oil drops from where it is currently, I mean, we did see three bearish signals on oil. If oil drops from there, then naturally Sasol will drop along with it, because Sasol, yes, they're a chemicals company, they have other businesses, but Sasol tends to have a very good correlation to the price of oil. So if oil does in fact continue to drop, plus it's already dealing with negative effects about South Africa, at the oil pressure, you might actually see Sasol drop below. So yeah, my personal opinion, what I would do is I won't necessarily buy Sasol. I would first see, okay, if it gets here, what happens? Is it dropping below, or is the support holding? Is this a good level? So I will probably say, look, I mean, if you want to be risky, if you want to be, say, risky and say, well, you know what, if it gets to 50, I'm buying it. I'm risking it. I'm going long. If you want to play it a bit more safe, I would say, I would want to see, does it hold and does it break back above 260? If it breaks back above 260, then I would say, okay, I'm going to go long Sasol. just because I'm a bit skittish on the price of oil at the moment. Just because of those three bearish signals on oil, it's hard to say. I don't want to buy Sasol and then, you know, oil drops and then Sasol goes ahead and drop right along with it. Okay, any questions on Sasol? I mean, let's put the Magdy back on. See what's happening here. I mean, yeah, okay, this is clearly a downtrend, but I mean, we can see it's a downtrend. I'm not seeing any divergences. Let's try another one. Very popular one, Ichimoku. I don't know how many of you know this. Okay, so Ichimoku, if you don't know the Ichimoku indicator, so basically this is the Kumo, the cloud, and it's predicting, it's kind of predicting what the stock is going to do in the future. So if it's a big green cloud like this, it's predicting Sasol will continue to rise going forward. It's a nice big thick cloud, so that's another bullish signal. So at least the Ichimoku this is the lagging indicator. So basically this line here is just the current price of the stock, but they set it back 26 periods. If it is above where price was 26 periods ago, that's another bullish signal. If it's trading in between like it did here, that's basically saying, oh, there's no direction, there's no trend. So according to the Ichimoku at least, this indicator is a lot more bullish on Sasol. The short-term indicator is above the medium-term indicator, so well, moving average rather. So that's also bullish. So at least the Ichimoku indicator is very bullish on Sasol. But this gap is definitely narrowing. It does seem like it's starting to move towards price. And likewise, if it's above price, it's bullish. If it's below price, that's bearish. And it's looking like it's gonna, if it continues on this trend, it is going to break through, and then suddenly you're trading below, and that would be a bearish signal. Gap is definitely closing. That is bearish. So yeah, so there are some bearish signals coming from Ichimoku on Sasol, but at the moment it's mostly bullish. But you have to take into account what's happening on oil. And if I'm looking at oil, it's starting to look very expensive, and it is starting to look a bit bearish. Okay. Somebody asked to look at AMD, NVDA. That's the offshore stocks. I will definitely look at them when we move to the offshore stuff. Let's just look at one more local one. Okay, someone said there, Tiger Brands. Okay, Tiger Brands. You can see at quite the downtrend, but it seems to have recovered from it. Nice big move today. I did not check. Was there maybe some results released? I did not actually check today if they had some results released today. But seems to have had a nice bounce. If they did have results, like I said, I don't even see the results yet if it was released today, so I can't comment on the fundamental stuff. But it does definitely look like it's recovered from its downtrend. I mean, it's good that it's doing this even on a day when we go into stage 4 load shedding, so that's very good. Let's put the Magdy back on. Okay, definitely see there was another nice divergence. So we can clearly see that Tiger Brands was dropping, yet what do we see here? It was starting to rise. So that again shows you that these divergences, they can be good signals. They're not always correct, but they can be a good signal, like letting you know, oh, wait, something's happening. What's going on here? So they can be like a good prediction that, oh, wait, maybe this trend seems to be changing. It's starting to bottom out. And that's exactly what we saw here. Tiger Brands kept going down, down, down. But on the Magdy, we started seeing going up, up, up. Nice little bullish divergence, letting us know, keep an eye on the stock. The trend might just be changing very, very soon. And that's exactly what happened. It bottomed out and Tiger Brands has been going up pretty well. And then another nice little bullish signal. You can see right there. Just today. Support, support, support. Oh, sorry, resistance, resistance, resistance. And then today, boom, resistance broken. If this all, I'll probably say wait till tomorrow. I mean, again, it depends on how risky you want to be. You can say, I'm going in now. But I would probably say wait till tomorrow, see if this holds. If it does close above resistance today, and it closes up like pretty well like it is currently, somewhere between 193, 195, that could be a good little signal saying, yes, maybe let's go long on Tiger Brands. But right now it's looking pretty bullish. It's looking pretty good. Let's put one more on there. Okay, so this is interesting. So this is the Ichimoku again. Look at that. A green cloud is starting to form. That is a bullish signal. But these lines, these borders of the cloud, they tend to act as support and resistance, like you can see there. Look there. It found resistance, 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 resistance on this cloud. So that can be. So if you want to play really safe, you could say, okay, wait. I'm going to wait for a close above this cloud as confirmation that, okay, we are properly in a bullish trend at the moment. But just looking at it, can definitely say the green cloud is starting to form. So it's predicting that Tiger Brands will be going up. The lagging indicator, definitely it broke through. It is back above. That is a nice bullish indicator. These two seem to be stuck together at the moment. So I'm not really getting much of a reading from this at the moment. But yeah, at the moment, Tiger Brands for me is looking pretty bullish. It's broken above support, green cloud, above price 26 periods ago. Maybe I want to see it break above this cloud first, but overall, Tiger Brands is looking pretty bullish. Okay, last local one we'll look at is everyone's favorite, Naspers. Okay, so Naspers naturally has been having quite a rough year because of the tech crackdown in China. Naspers, of course, gets most of its value from Tencent, which is a Chinese tech company. China, Tencent was one of the companies which had to deal with the crackdown. One of the big problems was that I think the Chinese government made regulations and laws limiting the amount of time kids are allowed to play computer games. Tencent is a computer game company, so that was not very good for them. We saw Naspers falling, but it seems like it has now bottomed out. So this seems to be the range. There's support. Oh, sorry, resistance. I keep saying the two. And there is support. Okay, and it is right at resistance. So that is a bit of a bearish signal for Naspers at the moment. It is currently right at resistance. So is it going back to support? What's the Magdy telling us? Okay, Magdy is bullish. So that's at least a good thing. But would I buy Naspers at this level? Probably not. Same thing. I would rather want to see it break resistance first. If it breaks resistance, okay, I'll buy it. But right now I've got resistance and it seems like it's struggling. It's not breaking, it's not getting there. So, but at least the Magdy, I'm not seeing any divergences. So that's good. In fact, there's a bit of a bullish divergence if we actually take a look at it. So from there, you can clearly see Naspers there. Same level as previously, but yet it's created a new high on the Magdy. So that's bullish. It's a bullish divergence. That's good. If you want to go long Naspers, that's what you want to see. let's put on the slow stochastic. Okay, no longer oversold, so that's good. So basically, if the slow stochastic is between 50 and 80, that is bullish. Except if it goes above 80, bearish again. Likewise, if it's below 50 but above 20, bearish. If it is below 20, bullish. So right now, it's where is it? It's at 60. So that is another bullish signal on Naspers. That is good. It's no longer considered overbought. So that is good. So that is bullish, but still, again, how risky do you want to be? If you say, "No, this all looks very bullish to me. I'm getting Naspers now," and then you might be right. It can shoot up. That's good for you. Want to play it a bit more defensively? You can say, "No, I'm going to wait for a break above 2,700, maybe 2,750 or 2,800. Then I'll go long." But naturally, you're giving up 200 Rand move though. But that's entirely up to you. And of course, you also have to keep in mind, well, what's going on in China? Because just when you think they're done and they're done with the regulations, they come up with new rules, new laws, and Naspers just drops further and further and further. So you have to keep an eye on China. But okay, let's go offshore. Unless someone do any of you have questions on Naspers? Okay, if not, okay, so this is DMA. So DMA, for you, those of you who don't know, Saxo Bank. Saxo Bank is a Danish bank. They're a very big offshore provider. It used to be, the local office used to be Saxo Bank South Africa, but then Sasol bought a big share in the South African operations, and they changed the name to DMA. But DMA is essentially still Saxo Bank. Okay. So somebody asked to have a look at AMD and NVIDIA. I mean, just from the get-go, I like AMD. For those of you who don't know, AMD is a semiconductor company. They design their CPUs and GPUs. And for a very, very long time, if you're into gaming or you're into PC, you would know that AMD, they tended to play second fiddle to Intel and NVIDIA. But that, of course, is not the case anymore. Like for the past 2 years or 3 years, I can't remember, especially with their CPUs, the Ryzen CPUs and the EPIC CPUs, AMD has really been stealing a lot of market share from Intel. I've been punting AMD for like 2 years now, and I've not been wrong. I mean, AMD has just been killing it for the past 2 years. So as you can see, let's zoom out a bit more. Going back to, when is this? 2019. Look how AMD has performed. End of 2019, they have just been killing it. Well, Intel, on the other hand, they've been struggling. Why? Again, because AMD has just been stealing so much market share from Intel. Intel kind of rested on their own laurels because AMD struggled to keep up with them for so long. Intel hasn't really been breaking new ground. They haven't really been bringing out super good CPUs. They've been resting on their laurels, and well, 2019, 2018, suddenly AMD came out with these amazing CPUs, and Intel were caught with their pants down. So I really like AMD. They're the new kid on the block. Well, not new kid on the block, but they're the new alpha dog, if you want, when it comes to CPUs. But more recently, last year, well, let me not put it this way. They cornered, they started doing a good job with CPUs, but when it came to GPUs, they were still kind of lagging NVIDIA with regards to that. NVIDIA was still making the better GPUs. And that was until last year. And suddenly AMD started bringing out really good GPUs. And now suddenly they're properly competing with NVIDIA on that front as well. So now not only do they have good CPUs, they also have good GPUs. If you don't know what the GPU is, it's a graphics card. So yeah, AMD, I really like AMD at the moment. Fundamentally, I like AMD. Technical, Is it looking good? I mean, it's broken. There was a bit of resistance there, but it does seem like it's broken above that resistance. So AMD is looking pretty good. Sorry, let me just make it a little more thick for you. Okay, so it broke through that, so that's pretty good. Let's see what's the Magdy saying. Ooh, you see that's not good though, because as you can see, there's a bit of a bearish divergence going on there right now. Now, again, as I said before, bearish divergences, bullish divergences, they're not 100% correct. They're good signals, but they're not perfect signals. And what you have to take into consideration is a lot of time when the price drops, sometimes it kind of resets and then you start over. So, but that is still quite a bit of a, that's kind of a big divergence though, if we have to be honest. Because it's AMD is clearly higher, so it's 122, whereas back then it was $118, $119, so it's a good $4 move, and yet we're seeing a big divergence here. So that is a bit weird. So that is a bit bearish. Let's see, what else can we see here? I would probably look, if you want to go long on AMD at the moment, I would probably say give it a few days, or at least see if it can move, because look what happened yesterday. I mean, it went up and then came straight back down again. So that's not good. It might look like, because what you're seeing there as well, this is known as a doji. This candlestick is known as a doji, and that is a bit of a trend reversal candlestick. So that usually is a sign that, oh, the trend has peaked and we might be starting to get down. So this might be a false breakout of the trend. So I would not buy AMD at the moment, even though it did break above resistance. It did break, but this is a big little doji. There's a big divergence on the Magdy. I would probably say you could probably wait, get in at 115 rather than 123. Just my opinion. But that's AMD. Okay, there we can put the Ichimoku on as well. See what that one's telling us. Okay, the colors are a bit weird. So red should actually be green. So that's bearish, that's bullish. And it is bullish, we have to admit it. It is predicting a bullish future for AMD, but it's not really the thickest of clouds, is it? It's a very, very thin little cloud. So it's not the most bullish of clouds. Lagging indicator, very good. It's well above where price was 26 days ago. Nice bullish signal. Short-term moving average is above medium-term moving average. So there are some bullish signals. At least the Ichimoku, it is giving us bullish signals. I am just a little apprehensive about those signals at the moment. I would probably say me personally, give it till the end of the week. See, does it stay above? Because I mean, I think it was, which one was it? Sasol, I think. No, it wasn't Sasol. One of the other stocks we looked at, we saw where the stock broke above resistance, but then it didn't stay there. It stayed there for like 2, 3, 4 days, and then it dropped right back down again. And that is possibly what might be happening with AMD at the moment. But just my opinion. I personally think it looks like it might be coming down, but the Ichimoku might be right. It might be nice and bullish and it can just keep going back up again. Okay. NVDA. AMD's big competitor. Again, I would assume maybe if it's a big jump like that, they must have had like good results yesterday. because that's also something you have to take care of when you're trading US stocks at the moment. We are in earnings season. So you have to be very careful when trading these stocks during earnings season. Most stocks have come out with good earnings, like the good earnings just continue as they did last year. So I would be very careful about taking any short positions in any US stocks at the moment, especially tech stocks. But yeah, I mean, if this is earnings, again, I'm not sure if earnings were yesterday, but if it was, and is this big a jump, I would probably say, I mean, go with the momentum. If the momentum is there, just keep going long. I mean, bullish cloud, indicator is above. Again, bit of an issue there with a divergence. We can already see there was another good divergence right there. Just move this down a little bit. So there we can see it was trending down. At the same time, we can see it was trending up. And look what happened. It was correct. NVIDIA proceeded to crash. So that was a good one. Now the question is this another good one? Because again, we're seeing the same thing happening. It is down, yet at the same time, what are we seeing here? Big move up. So is this another good signal, another bearish divergence? Only time will tell. As I told you many times before, they are not 100% correct, but they can be very good leading indicators, these divergences, letting you know that possibly the bullish move is not quite as strong as it might seem. But on the other hand, go with the flow. I mean, there's a popular saying in trading is don't fight the trend. And if the trend is there, there's a big move, especially if it was earnings. So if there's a good fundamental reason for NVIDIA to be up, don't fight it. I mean, just go with the flow, go with the momentum. Okay. Okay, a lot of people want to have a look at Tesla. I mean, Tesla, should I even look at it? Tesla just goes up, doesn't it? Should we even have a look at the stock? We know it's Tesla, it will just go up. But okay, so why has Tesla been going up? Yes, they've had good results recently, but also Hertz. I'm sure you all know Hertz. It's a big car rental company. They announced that they will be buying 100,000 Teslas for their rental fleet. And that made Tesla bounce. But now it seems like the momentum is kind of not there. Like it had a nice big bump, there was momentum, then it went up and look what happened, came back down. So now we are seeing another doji. And as I said before, AMD, when we look at AMD, these dojis can act as trend reversal candlesticks. So that can be a bit bearish. If we look at the Magdy, what do we see? No divergence, so that's at least good. That's very good. We look at the Ichimoku, the cloud, bullish cloud. So that's going up. It's not the biggest cloud, but that's still bullish. Price is above, that's bullish. The short-term moving average is above the medium-term moving average, bullish. So all around, we're getting bullish signals from Tesla, except for this little candlestick here. There we can see, I mean, there's another long-term, bit more long-term resistance line. Right there at $900. There was resistance, boom, it's clearly broken through. So what we might see is a drop back to 900. And that's what a lot of people call the kiss goodbye. So what happens when the stock, it breaks above, it comes back to resistance, or well, what has now become support, and then it continues moving up. That is all referred to as the kiss goodbye. And that is what we might see happening with Tesla. Although that would be a big drop. That's like a $120 drop. But it is possible. Let's put the stochastic. What is it saying? Yeah, you see there is a bit of a bearish signal there. So on the slow stochastic, what we see, Tesla is clearly in overbought territory. And we can even see it's a tiny little bearish divergence there as well, because we can see it's definitely, I mean, Tesla is definitely way up. But on the slow stochastic, it's kind of trending a bit down. So that is also a bit of a bearish divergence. So Tesla, I mean, I would say probably wait a day at the very least, see what happens. What candle is formed next? If it's another red candle, then you know, okay, we're probably going back down. But if we see a nice green candle and it goes up, then you say, okay, this is not a trend reversal candle. Lots of bullish signals, except for this overbought one. Then you can consider going long on Tesla. Okay, final one we'll have a look at, CRM. So that is Salesforce. Salesforce, nice good trend, nice big bullish cloud on it, on the Kumo. Nice big gap between the two moving averages. Definitely above what it was 26 days ago. So that is good. So on the Kumo, we are definitely seeing a lot of bullish signals. What's the Magdy telling us? Magdy good, no divergences. I'm not seeing any divergence on the Magdy. Trading up, there was one. So see, this is a good example of where you can say, look, the Magdy is not 100%. Because you can see there, it was trending down, same period. It was going up. So there was clearly a bearish divergence. Yeah, sure, it dropped a little bit, but continued to move up. And now there's clearly no more divergence there. So yeah, so this proves to you that the bearish, these divergences are not 100%. They can be good, but don't think just because there's a divergence, oh, definitely it will crash or definitely it will go up. They can be wrong. But yeah, so CRM looking good. Long-term resistance, definitely broken through long-term resistance there. So that's very bullish. CRM, Salesforce, definitely looking very bullish at the moment. I'm not seeing any bearish signals on Salesforce. It's looking very, very bearish. So it's again, it can be a very good momentum trade. Okay, yeah, sorry, I see there are other ones coming through, but we're starting to run out of time. So I'm gonna end it there for the day. Just remember, we have these webinars once a month. Thank you for attending this one. We will definitely have another one next month. Actually, if you don't know when it will be, just go to randswiss.com. At the top, you'll see events. And then you can just check events. You can see all our webinars. This is more of a technical analysis webinar. If you want more of a fundamental review, you can check out Gary Boyson's webinars. He does 2 webinars a month. One of his webinars, he usually do 3 stock picks for you. And he goes through the fundamental reasons why he wants to, he likes those stocks. And then he also has a monthly review one where he takes more bit of a macro view of world events, world economics, and kind of guide you through his thinking of where he's investing at the moment based on these macro views. So if you want more fundamental things, that's for you. That you can really join Gary's webinars. Sometimes Yaku also, if you're more into retirement planning, estate planning, those kind of things, you can attend Yaku Igor's webinars. Just go to randswiss.com. At the top, you'll see events, click events, and you get a full list of all our webinars and when they will be. But yeah, thank you for attending this one, and I look forward to seeing you guys again next month. Have a good one.